Hey guys, it's Bree and welcome back to another episode on Open the Lock. Have you guys watched Inside Out 2 yet? Because I just went a few days ago to watch it and wow, was it crazy. I honestly did not expect the movie to be like that whatsoever. It literally did a whole 360. I was like, what's going on? There's too much going on. And today I actually want to talk about it with you guys. It's kind of weird to have a podcast about a movie, but honestly, the movie kind of had such a big message that many of you guys have not realized. I don't know if you've watched Inside Out 2. So if you haven't, this is kind of going to be a spoiler. So I would tell you to not watch the podcast yet until you watch Inside Out 2. And when you watch it, you guys can come back. But I'm going to kind of be spoiling the movie and, giving you guys what I learned from the movie and how I can take that information and kind of put it into my everyday life. So to give a summary of the movie, there's actually a few new characters that they added to Inside Out 2. One of the characters was Anxiety. And when I saw that character in the movie, I did the most dramatic eye roll in my life because yes, do I think anxiety is real? 100%. Have I had anxiety? Yes, I have. Have I surpassed that anxiety? Am I over that anxiety? Yes. Do I still get it sometimes? Yes. But is it an everyday thing? Am I constantly anxious? Am I constantly stressed? No. So when I saw that the new character was Anxiety, it kind of pissed me off a little bit. Sorry for my French, but it kind of pissed me off just because I swear everybody in this world now identifies as anxiety. It's like you guys might as well wear the costume now of the character from Inside Out because everybody is just identifying as, oh, I have anxiety, I have depression, I have all this stuff. And it really angers me because seeing people living in their story, which is basically the moral of this podcast today, is kind of just living in the story that you make for yourself. So if you're an anxious person, if you have been diagnosed with anxiety and no, depression wasn't a, character in the Inside Out movie, even though one of them kind of did give off depression vibes, but I don't really know that character too much. They surround their entire life just solely on the fact that they're diagnosed with this problem and now it's their whole personality. Do you know somebody like that? Because I'm sure I'm not the only one. And honestly, it gets me so aggravated that a person would want to live in their own sad sob story every single day of their life. It's we know you're going through things. That's okay. People have gone through things. I've gone through things. But that doesn't mean that you can live in that problem your entire life and just wake up just complaining about your sad story. No one, at the end of the day, no one really cares. Nobody. And so in the movie, Anxiety actually took over Riley, which is the actual girl, the character in the movie. Anxiety took over her, and basically all the other characters, Joy and Sadness, etc., they all were basically trapped out so he could basically take over everything. And so it made Riley, the character, have panic attacks. It made her, just overthink a lot, made her be stressed, and made her do things that she wouldn't normally do. Because she's such a sweet person in the movie. If you saw Inside Out 1 and Inside Out 2, she's such a sweet person. And so Anxiety kind of made her be a person that she's not and basically live off of fear. And so I'm pretty sure a lot of people have had anxiety or have anxiety as we're speaking. It can tend to get to a lot of us. And I have experienced panic attacks. I have experienced, being stressed and just constantly being anxious and on my tippy toes. But I have surpassed that. I've kind of saw that, okay, this isn't good for me. What are ways that I can cope so I cannot end up doing those things, So what I got from the movie was to not let your emotions dictate your mood or the mood for the rest of your day. Because we can be sad in moments. We can be happy, angry, whatever, fear, disgusted at something. But that doesn't mean that you should live your entire day based off of that emotion that you feel. You should be able to switch it off. feel it for a little bit, but remind yourself, okay, that's it. I need to get out of this. And obviously in the movie, Riley, it kind of shows that she wasn't really in control of herself because the emotions in her head were taking control. And that is a problem with most people in society in this day is you let your mind control you and you're not letting your body control you. You know, you live off of the emotions in your head that your brain gives you, but we're not controlling it. We're kind of just letting it go all over the place, and we're not taking initiative and saying, you know what, I'm going to change how I'm acting. I'm going to change how I feel because this is what is going to help me in the long run. So when I see others going through a situation like that, and I'm like, okay, so you want to live basically being a victim in your own story for the rest of your life. And I'm surprisingly, I have not talked about this on the podcast yet, which I actually think I think I did, but apparently I didn't because I looked back on the videos and it wasn't there at all. But this is something that I talk so highly about and big about because not even it upsets me. It honestly gets me so angry when this person is like, yeah, I have this, I have anxiety, I'm filled with depression. And I'm just like, do you not realize that there's things that you can do to help yourself not have those things? A lot of people just choose to live in that victim mentality and saying to themselves that, oh yeah, they have this problem and there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm just going to take a whole bunch of meds and hopefully it can fix me. But it's like, okay, you're trapped up in your room all day. You're not around positive people. You're not watching positive videos. You're not eating the right foods that are supposed to make you feel good and healthy. And you're kind of just putting a whole bunch of toxins in your body. And so I know you guys have a friend like that. And it really, really bothers me. Or I don't know. I don't know why. The more you talk about your sad sob story, the more you're going to live in that same story every single day of your life. Because yeah, we live in this world, but you kind of make the world you live in. You know, you choose your friends, you choose what you watch, you choose what you hear, you choose what you do. So it kind of is your world in some sense. And so if you're living in that same story of, you know, either you didn't come from money or, you know, you drug addiction and alcohol addiction, you have mental health issues in your family or you yourself have mental issues and you're kind of just surrounded by it every day and you wake up kind of just thinking about the same thing every day and not choosing to do something about it. Because a lot of people think that because they're diagnosed with something that they cannot fix it, that there's no way in the world that they can change their ways and they can change that diagnosis, because you can change your diagnosis. If you didn't know, look it up on Google. You can change your diagnosis. And people just stick to the same excuses, like I have this and I have that and I can't lose weight because, or I'm fat, or I'm too, and I'm just like, oh my God, it like irks my nerves. And I honestly wish I could sit every single person down that I wish that I want to in my life to tell them what I'm talking about, which is why I'm making this video in the first place, because it's to show. And if you are this person who's living in your victim story, change it now. Because if you don't know how many years are going to go down the line and you're still going to be living in that sad story that you have been living for years. Because people have problems for years and years and years. You know, the Inside Out movie, anxiety was a new emotion that Riley just had. So we don't know how long she had it in the movie, obviously, but it was for that short period of time. And you saw how her emotions were able to come back together and realize, like, you know what? Anxiety is not good for me. This is not good for me. I need to switch my actions because I'm not acting like me right now. You're not. You're wrapped up in the story. And this is, you wake up and it's just like this. There's no change. There's no change. So, you know, it's also like living up to your dream. You have dreams for yourself. You have goals. I'm sure you do. So do I. Big goals and dreams that I have for myself. But if you have a dream and you have a goal to do something, you're going to do everything in your power to do it, right? Yes. But a lot of people get comfortable with something that they're dealing with that is very hard to kind of deal with and surpass. And so they stick to just being comfortable. Do you think being comfortable is going to help you succeed? Is going to help you reach that goal and dream that you have for yourself? I don't think so. And a lot of you guys and myself sometimes as well, we get comfortable and we don't think twice and say, okay, but this is going to affect my future. If I'm going to continue to live how I want to live because I'm comfortable, you're never going to succeed, ever. And when I had therapy, when I was going through a really rough time, I did go to therapy and I did get a diagnosis of both anxiety and depression. I did both, if you viewers do not know. And what's the whole reason of going to therapy? Why do people go to therapy? To be better, for their therapist to give them coping mechanisms, to help them deal with what they're going through, to eventually not have those same problems, which is why you go to a therapist. And people can go to therapy for years to heal with whatever they have gone through. And some go to therapy just to go to therapy and just listen to what the therapist has to say. And they don't really want the help. They don't. And I just don't see the purpose of wasting money to go to therapy when you're not taking any of the advice your therapist is giving you. Even if you have that diagnosis, it's like you kind of want that diagnosis. It's like you want that anxiety, you want that depression. And I'm just like, who wants that? Because in the movie, Riley did not want that, obviously, but it came to her out of nowhere. And she was able to, surpass it. She was able to climb over that obstacle and realize that she's better than that. And all the other emotions were helping her back that up. The same emotions that we have in our head every single day. We can be stressed. I can be stressed sometimes. I can have anxiety sometimes when I'm in an uncomfortable situation, but I'm able to get over it because of the coping mechanisms that I learned when I went to therapy, as well as the coping mechanisms that I learned through watching videos every day and watching others surpass very, very big obstacles that they've had in their life. It's all about learning and wanting to be that bigger and better person, which is why I have a podcast in the first place, is to help every single person on this planet to just be better and make better decisions so they can have the most beautiful life that they've ever wished for. Sorry, wrong word. So take that advice. Don't be a victim in your life. Don't be a victim to that story that you keep telling yourself, that you keep crying about. You want people to be sad for you. No one's going to be sad for you, honey. No one is going to be sad for you. That story that you keep reliving every single day that is making you have your anxiety and depression, you need to get rid of it now. Now, start speaking positivity into your life so you can change that narrative and take initiative and be like, you know what? I'm going to write a better story for myself so I can become a better person in the future, the person that you have always, always dreamt of. And to not let your emotions get the best of you. Ever, ever. Just try day by day. Take little steps. Go out of your way to do things that you probably would have never done. You know, if you're getting anxious, fix that. If you see yourself getting depressed and getting to those habits again, you know, you're sleeping a lot, you're eating more or you're eating less, you know, you're not keeping yourself, keeping your hygiene up, switch it up now, fast. So I hope you all enjoyed today's episode because I surely was very passionate about today's episode. I don't know why it gets me so like ecstatic when I'm able to talk about these things to you guys. It just makes me really happy that there's even just a few people watching this and it could genuinely change their life. So I'm really glad that I even watched the Inside Out movie so I can talk to you guys about it because, oh my God, the movie was great, but it kind of just pissed me off a little bit in the beginning. So I hope you all enjoyed today's episode. Stay tuned for more episodes, an episode next week. And I still don't know what I'm going to talk about yet. But if you guys have any recommendations, any topics that you want me to talk about, something that you're going through, comment down below. I will look at the comment, do some research about it, and we'll see what I can do. I love you guys so much, and stay tuned, and I'll see you guys next week.